So I'm here with the dynamic duo, writer, producer, and directors for film Loverboy, Praise and Tyler. Praise and Tyler, tell people or viewers the reason that we're speaking tonight.
To have a good conversation, and we have a movie coming out called Loverboy, and that's very exciting. That's one why we're that's one of the reasons why we're talking. Yeah.
Well, we'll now, like you said, you have a movie coming out, and you've been working on this movie for 2 years now. So we're gonna deep dive, but we're gonna go backwards. We're gonna backstroke for a minute. I want you to tell me about your humble beginnings. Praise, I want you to start first.
Well, from a little kid, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I was there for 12 years. That's kind of how I got started working in radio, and that's kind of how I got started in the acting thing. When I moved to Charlotte, I was at the age 13. I kind of got started with like theater in I was 14. Then I met Tyler around the time I was 15. So after that, me and Tyler had separated, and I started getting into more high school theater. I was in high school at that point, and that's when I got into high school theater, and it was a blessing after that. And just making Loverboy at 16, and I'll be releasing Loverboy at 18. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations, Tyler. You got next.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Tyler King Jace Jackson, and I was born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina, the same place that we made a movie. Ever since a little kid, I just loved to make people smile. It wasn't even a love for the art at first. You know, as a little kid, you don't even really know what too much stuff is about, but I know I love to see a smile on somebody's face when I did a little dance or something. I really got into the arts as like a little kid before I could probably remember, but I remember when I was really little, my mom and everybody in my family, we were at a funeral, and some older people were crying outside on the front porch. And I really love Michael Jackson, so I started moonwalking, doing Smooth Criminal in front of them, and then they started smiling. And then I sat beside them, and they were just talking to me. And when we went home, my mom just said, you know, you got a real light about you, and what you did for those people, you probably never even know how much it really affected them. So getting into the acting, I've always been an actor. Grew up in the church, so I used to do a lot of plays at the church. Any way I could. Find a way to act, find a place to act. That's where I wanted to be. And then when I finally got into middle school, that's when I got some more roles, and I was always known as a comedian. And then I got into high school. I didn't do another show until junior year, and it was a musical. And then I got the lead of my senior musical. But by that time, I went to Inspire the Fire with me and Praise met. And that was the first place that ever gave me a serious role. And it really made me feel as if I could be an actor and not just be somebody that they typecast. I can do anything that I wanted to do and be anybody that I wanted to be. Picked up a camera because I wanted to do self-tapes. And then I got good at just doing stuff and started making some money off of the cam. And then by that time, that was when me and P connected again, and the rest was history.
Yes.
That's crazy. Inspire the Fire. That's how you got your start. That's a phenomenal situation right there. So from there, and you were in Inspire the Fire for how long?
Oh man, I was in Inspire the Fire for my junior year, which was when I did my first musical, which Inspire the Fire actually kept me in the musical because I had a small role, but a lot of things was going on at the time. But yeah, I met the CEO. His name is Dennis Reed Jr. I call him Unc, and he just really inspired me as well as P to just keep on pursuing our dreams because I always felt like family, and they told us to never give up. So yeah, Inspire the Fire. Peace. Acting, singing, dancing, modeling, whatever we wanted to do, Inspire the Fire had it, especially for us being young black men. And it was a field where we had the majority of people that look like us. Everybody.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I have a bad habit of doing that. Sorry.
I was done.
Oh. Now, Tyler, you're director of Loverboy. You're a member of the Charlotte chapter NAACP. And like you said, you discovered the knack for entertainment at a young age. Would you say that was the moment of reckoning? Like, even then, you're like, no, I think I can act. This is what I want to do.
At which moment? When we did Loverboy or?
The funeral.
Oh, the funeral. Man, I was 5 years old.
Oh, you didn't know any better.
It's just like me and Prey talk about all the time with us co-directing this whole thing. Like, we felt like, a lot of people said they made for this, but we was about born to do this, because regardless if we ran away from the art or had our moments where we didn't want to do it or a little bit, it always came back to us. And even then, we always wanted to do it. We just didn't want to be in a situation where people were bringing us down to not do it. We always had the love for it, but we wanted to be in the right position to do it. And it always stuck with us, the love.
Right, and it's your circle. Like, you got to get away from people, your naysayers. The naysayers are something special, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Loverboy is based off a true story. Your first heartbreak praise. Now, how does a 16-year-old write a story to great depths? Tell me about it and the experience. Now, if you're going to feel sad about it,
we way past that. We for sure way past that. Yeah, I was 16, and I know it's kind of like, oh, what does a 16-year-old know about heartbreak? But at that time, it was very serious. I don't do anything if I'm not gonna care, and I'm a big carer. So I feel like that's why it had the emotional effect on me the way it did, because I do care, and I do feel like everybody deserves a chance and everybody should be passionate about one thing. But yeah, when I was writing it, I just really felt slowed down due to the pandemic, and I really felt like I was living this fast-paced 16-year-old life. And when we got hit with the pandemic, it was just like, okay, Praise, just chill out. Now you have nothing to do. You have nowhere to go. You have no Walmart to be in. What do you want to do? And so that just allowed me to think. I thought first, and when I continued to think, I felt like all of this was just weighing on me and just being like, yo, I no longer have a girlfriend. I no longer have this thing to rely on and to depend on, and I became so dependent on that person. And I figured out, like, yo, I have to write this story because this is relatable. This is not something that I am fighting with alone. Right. So I was 16. I called up 3 of my best friends. Tyler, shout out to Tyler Coleman. Shout out to Kate. Shout out to Sierra. And I was like, yo, I have this idea, and I want to kind of get away from the high school theater title, and I want to start making films. And I had an idea of films prior to this, but this one just felt so right because this was about me. So there were just some days where when we're writing and I'm breaking down right in front of my computer and I'm trying to do this and I can't do this. It's like, it was so surreal in that moment. And I can never, like, I could have stopped. Like, the Loverboy could have just been over right then and there when I'm crying at my laptop and I can't write anymore. And it could have stopped when people didn't read the script. It could have stopped when people was like, nah, I don't really want to help you write it because I don't know where this story is going. It could have stopped, but it didn't, and it kept going. And it's a blessing to see, and it's a blessing to know that I was hands-on for that part and every other part after that. So yeah, writing a movie, because it started off as a short at first. Writing a short film at 16 didn't seem as big as it does to me now, but writing a movie that I didn't know that was going to be a movie just seems even crazier for my 18-year-old brain to wrap around. So yeah, it was a very surreal moment.
It's still surreal because when you broke it down like that, the reality set in. Like, dog, that wasn't even that long ago. That was literally 2 years ago in the pandemic. So then how did you and Tyler link for the project?
Well, like we said, we met in Inspired to Fire, and that was someone that I always held close to, because Inspired to Fire, like, it gave Tyler an opportunity. It gave me an opportunity too. As an actor, before I went to Inspired to Fire, I had one voice, and it was high, and it was an acting voice, and it was just not where it needed to be. When I got into that coaching, it kind of helped me break it down to where I'm feeling emotion and I'm actually thinking about these words that are on this paper. So that's how we met. And then I left Inspired to Fire, and Tyler, I will never forget, on my 17th birthday, on my 17th birthday, Tyler hit me up and he sent me $50. I'll never forget that $50.
Keep that friend.
Yeah. He sent me $50 for my birthday, and I was like, "Yo, I have this project, and I want you to audition for it. I'll give you the part. I really don't care." And he was like, "Yeah, let's go." And I had somebody prior to film it, and then that situation kind of went bad. And then I seen that Tyler had a camera, and I was like, "Yo, let's do it. Let's film it." And he was like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I don't really care how I'm helping this project. Just let me help the project." And even I feel as if even if Tyler wasn't in the movie, he would still be working on the movie, and I really appreciate him for that, and I will love him wholeheartedly for that. For the rest of my life, I'm in his debt.
Me too, brother.
I love you, bro.
Dope friends do great things together. So, number one, you mentioned you broke down a couple of times while writing the script.
Yes.
And interestingly, when I wanted to interview you, just because you're young Black men, you're not even the typical, you know what I'm saying? So that stand out alone, that you're doing this, you're from Charlotte. Praise, you're a transplant, but we're gonna give you Charlotte for now, okay?
Please do.
But the thing that really stood out to me is I watched another interview that you guys did, and you talked about not black, but male, what was that, toxic masculinity?
Toxic masculinity.
Yeah, so I understand the question because, we're still on the whole Will Smith and that fiasco. And I don't think a 16-year-old really knows that much about toxic masculinity. But on the flip side of that, I feel like the culture of love, having those complex, like you said, Tyler, it's complexities, it's different complexities about love, where from a male perspective, does it correlate with mental health? Like you said, you broke down, you didn't know how to deal with that. You didn't know how to process that. So Will Smith said that best with the infamous slap around the world, love will make you do crazy things. So do you think that this actually identifies that mental health aspect of it for teen boys in relationships in school?
Yeah, it definitely attacks mental health. It faces you with the question, while being funny, it faces you with the question of, am I going to get up and love again, or am I going to bleed on people that didn't cut me? And that's a terrible reasoning behind it. When I was 16 writing it, I knew that I wanted to mention toxic masculinity in a form where it was something that I was seeing. Just being my father is just like, yo, you can't cry, you're a man, get over it. That's that kind of thing. So that, to me, that feels like toxic masculinity. That feels like you're blocking your opinion, you're blocking your feelings and emotions because you are a man, and I feel like you shouldn't do that. It should be billions in just a bunch of people, just a bunch of men that can open up and be vulnerable. And if no one's vulnerable, how do we get to each other? How do we learn each other? The mental health aspect of it, though, it definitely deals with depression, and it definitely deals with something being the only thing that you rely on, and that's just snatched away from you, and you have no contact from her. You have no contact with anyone. It's just it shows you that you mentally, this was a mental drug, and this is what you got used to, and this is what you just fell in love with, and you cut out a lot of things for it. And when you feel like you want and you need, when you feel like you need something, and when it's really a want, you kind of depend, and you become dependent on that thing until it's snatched away. So it definitely shows you depression and mental health, and just like knowing that you got you, and that's the only thing that should matter, and knowing that you gotta love you before you go out and love anyone else.
That's self-love. Do you agree, Tyler?
I definitely agree. Well, probably wasn't mentioned because I don't mention it like that, but I am a tutor coordinator for Upward Bound. I don't know if you heard of TRIO, but it was also initiated. It was implemented 20 years after W.E.D. Du Bois actually constructed the NAACP to allow disadvantaged African Americans and colored people the opportunity to, go to college and have the opportunity. But long story short, I deal with young men, and the organization I deal with predominantly African American young men that don't know how to express themselves in that type of way, that don't have that, especially brotherhood, because I think as guys, it's way easier from the outside looking in for females to click up and talk about mental health than it is for guys to click up and talk about mental health.
That's right.
It's more they use things of coping mechanisms, and being a tutor coordinator and having to counsel these young men. And even before that, we were doing Loverboy. It's just all a effect that people need somebody to talk to.
That's right.
And it's all right to speak to somebody, and it's all right, and it's all right to be not all right. Because, in life, you got to grow, right? And especially him being 16 and me dealing with 16-year-olds and all the high schoolers right now, like, they go through it, man. It's a time in your life everybody can relate to, being in high school, going through puberty, right?
Right.
You're going to go
puberty sucks.
Yeah. The chemicals in your brain is going crazy. Y'all going crazy. And you can't control it, really. It's a scientific imbalance.
Right.
Look, we got to leave it at the sounds in the Lord. Amen. Amen.
Ooh, I know that's right.
but yeah, I definitely agree, and especially, and it's a big importance that everybody understands that there's something for everybody. You can relate to a plethora of characters in there, and it's just so important that we put the narrative out that people have problems. It's all right to have problems, and you can get through your problems. It's all right to struggle.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we're all human. Just like Will Smith is human, just like Chris Rock is human. At the end of the day, we're all human. And we are not supposed to judge nobody. We're supposed to support people. And whatever things that they're going through, we're supposed to be empathetic and also have the spirit of love and let God handle it and never be judgmental.
Right.
Yeah.
So my other question is, do you think it's a cultural thing, though? Because when we talk about self-expression, toxic masculinity, just vulnerability, what does that look like inside the Black household? You know what I'm saying? So you're exposing these truths in this movie.
Yeah.
And in your opinion, you both have very different experiences with that. You know what I'm saying? So what, in your opinion, what does that look like in the Black household? Because everybody's experience is going to be different.
Yeah, everybody's experience is going to be different. So it's like, I wouldn't pick one and be like, this is what it is for everyone. But yeah, I just feel like in the Black household, especially, that as people, we are not allowed to open up in any way. And that just goes from parents and just being afraid to open up and just being afraid to be like, I like this or I like that, or this is different, and I gotta be so scared for you to take my Black card away because I don't like games or I don't like mac and cheese. It's like, it's just the fear. I feel like the fear in a Black household to where it's like, you can't be different for real. And that's what it is. And that's what I wanted to do. That's what me and Tyler want to do with just making Black films and casting all Black casts, is just showing Black people as normal people. It's not a trauma story. It's not something that it's not slavery related. It is showing regular Black people in an element where it's not ratchet. It's not how whatever label you want to put on it. It's regular people living their normal day-to-day lives, going through love, loving each other, looking at each other, smiling at each other, loving on each other. It's just showing you a different way about it, because if we have to set an example and we have to be like, yo, this is the standard and this is how it should be, just because you want people to feel welcome when they watch film. You want people to feel, especially me and Tyler, we welcome everybody. We don't come into you with closed arms. We don't come into you like, I'm gonna be selfish with mine, because that is a lot of Black people, and that is a lot of what Black people do. And a lot of people just feel like they gotta be selfish when you have enough to give. Don't think that you don't have enough to give. But going back to the question with Black households, I just feel like a lot of people are afraid to just be like, I don't like this, I like this. And I feel like that's where it stems from. It stems from secrets. It stems from just not being able to want to come out and say something because you are afraid that somebody's gonna disagree, or you're afraid that somebody's going to think that you're weird or going to think that whatever. And I feel like that's exactly where it stems from. It just stems from being afraid to be you.
Right.
Yeah.
You agree, Tyler?
Yeah, I agree. And there is something that always sticks with me, right? If you look at the village, if you want to see what is wrong with the children, you have to look at the village. Mm-hmm. It takes to raise a child, it takes a community to bring up each other. And at the end of the day, the Black community, speaking from personal experience or whatever it is, you have to definitely find your community. And for a child, you must always have mentors to help you find that. It's so imperative that young females, of course, have great female role models, because nobody can relate to a female to a female better than the female. The change that's going on, just like with a young man, nobody can really teach that young man how to get to his excellence other than another older figure in his life, especially somebody that looks like him, right? If you've never seen excellence from your family, if you've never seen excellence from people that are surrounding you, how do you know that you can achieve excellence? If you never, same sense of vulnerability in the household, if you've never seen your father cry, how do you know it's okay to cry?
That's right.
Right? If you never seen your mother be empathetic and coddle you and things, how do you know it's okay to comfort somebody? How do you know when all you've seen is bottling it up, or whenever there is a reaction, it's an aggressive reaction instead of a comforting reaction, right? And but it has to be the village, it has to be the community, it has to be the household. It must be, it's all right to feel an array of emotions, and we have to understand that the only way to get to our best self is going through the bad times, so we can understand that we can get to the good. Right. That's an experience. And I might be preaching a little bit, but yeah, to your question, that's every household. That's a generational effect right now, because with social media, with everybody pretending and faking, and everybody doing everything that has never been seen before, just with this amount of technology that we have now, it's more imperative than ever that people get to see. Instead of just looking at the bad, we have the good to go along with it. And it's all gets to the nighttime, because without the nighttime, you'll never see the sunrise.
Exactly.
Listen, y'all, so you're mentors, so I'm gonna hit you up, okay?
I love to talk to people. Love to spread positivity. Stay positive.
No. You on it though, and that's the reason why people need to cop the movie, or like wherever they can download it or watch it. Hopefully, it'll appear on Peacock, Tubio, like one of those channels. So, and speaking of the movie, Tyler, this is for you. Like, you have a camera. When did you decide, okay, this is getting ready to be huge, so I need to step my game up with shooting? What equipment did you use, and when was it serious for you?
It was always serious to me. I'll say it really got serious, and even before then, you guys prayed, like, and that's why we keep on saying it all just came together, because literally I bought a camera straight out of high school. I used to love for my high school, East Meck. Shout out to East Meck Eagles. He was Miller Creek, but shout out to them too. We love everybody. But yeah, at East Meck, I just wanted to really have a camera. I used to post videos, used to do promotions, all that type of stuff. But then when I started acting, I knew I needed demo reels. I knew I needed this. I knew I needed that. So I really bought a camera so I could self-tape demo reels, do what I need to do for myself, because I knew I didn't have the funds available, but I had them. And I was like, as long as I had the knowledge, I'd be all right. Then I got into college, and I started just posting stuff, because I used to film myself, and people were like, man, you can shoot. You want to do photos for me? I'll pay you money. I said, oh, snap, I can make this into a hustle. So I started buying up equipment to be a photographer and videographer. And then I went out to Atlanta, right? And it just fell through. And it was for acting. I was like, it fell through. So I got to make a way in my own backyard. Right. So gearing up to do some more stuff, I bought some more equipment just to get ready to film some personal projects, maybe some short films that I wrote myself. And then Pete's birthday came around, man, just out the love, I was just like, man, I'm gonna give you 50, man, just out the love. When we ain't spoken in a while, I said, man, I got it in my pocket, so I'm gonna give it to him. And then Loverboy came about, and then by the grace, it was like, what do we need? And I said, I got everything.
That's what's up. And number one, keep your friends, not because of what they can give you, but those are genuine friends. That's on site. That's not gonna shoot you down, that's gonna always either they're gonna do it or they're gonna find a way. So I love that relationship that y'all have. I mean, it's okay to say no, but for something like this, y'all came together and made it pop. So with choosing the cast, what stood out to you the most?
Oh, that's great.
With choosing the cast, man, I'm not even gonna lie. Okay, so we casted. I got my acting coach to play my dad. Shout out to Jermaine A. Gamble. Shout out to Mr. Jermaine, amazing actor. And we casted this other girl, and for Angelina, that is my lover. That is my significant other.
Well, that's a strong word, but
that is my significant other in the movie.
Love it.
So when we casted that girl for that part, we went out to film, and it wasn't what we needed. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel natural. Bringing up why, it makes no sense, but we went back to the drawing board, and we was just like, okay. She ended up having another business to take care of and do all that, so she could not come back to film with us. And one of my writers, Sierra Reynolds, shout out to Sierra, is so talented and so beautiful and just amazing, and an amazing person. My dad seen her when we were filming. My dad seen her. We were filming a scene where me and Tyler was in it, and she came just to stop by, just to chill out, be the assistant director that day. And my dad seen her, and he was like, "Who's her? Like, who is she? Why is she in the movie?" And I was like, "No, it's just Sierra. She just came to chill out." He's like, "Get Sierra on the phone. We need Sierra. We need Sierra." And so we called Sierra up, and we like, "Yo, like, you wrote this movie with me. Like, you know the lines. You did this. You did that. Just come on, like, do it." She was like, "Okay, I guess I'll do it." We was lit. We was like, "Ah." And so when she chose and blessed us and was just like, "I'll do it," and bro, I promise you, everything happens for a reason, man. Because it's crazy. We shot it in house, and like, it was my friend. So the person that we had casted originally, we didn't know her from a can of paint. So we meeting up with her and texting her. We don't even know her. So it's like we got somebody that was super close and that knew us originally, and it was just like trying to get to know us. So the cast was just super close and just tight bonded, and the conversations that we had offset was really cool. And just seeing the cast just interact with each other offset, and just talking to Mr. Jermaine, just Mr. Jermaine being my OG and just teaching me the game and teaching me acting, and just knowing a lot from him. It was cool because I love being around him, because he always has something to teach you. He always has something for you to learn from. And being around Sierra was just cool because she's a ball of energy, and she's just amazing. And she smiles on smiles. And then you mix that with, shout out to Mars, shout out to Ali, shout out to Enoch. Those are our videographers. You mix that with all of that, it was just amazing. It was just like a nice little soup that we had. So the cast is all Black. And it was just an amazing thing. It was an amazing thing to work on, and just being off of camera and just being with everybody was just cool. And the behind the scenes that we got is funny. It was just amazing.
So when are we going to see this film? When can we get, like, do you have the YouTube for it? Like, what are you dropping so we can get a taste of it?
Loverboy will be dropping next month.
Okay.
I will not say a date. We will be choosing not to go to a major streaming service like a Tubi or a Pluto TV right now. You can buy the movie for $3 at www.loverboythemovie.com. You can get your shirts, you can get your hoodies. We'll have more stuff on the site. You can see the trailer up there. But yeah, www.loverboythemovie.com. We just thought that we did it all by ourselves. Let's promote it all by ourselves, and let's publish it all by ourselves. And that's the biggest thing. Loverboy taught me patience. It taught me to reconnect myself. It taught me to calm down. and it taught me ownership. That's what
Okay.
Every time I bring Loverboy up, I say that it taught me ownership. And with Loverboy, I just got an LLC from our production company this week, Cloud 7 Production.
Congratulations.
So we just did that, and yeah, we got more. We got more to come. We looking to start filming next month too. So we not done. After Loverboy, we gonna get to it for real. We've been writing.
I love that. So with Loverboy, this is my last question, and then I want you to leave your social media handles. But with Loverboy, which scene stood out to you the most?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go.
Mine is funny. I ain't gonna give it away because we think it's one of the funniest scenes. But shout out to Savers, you know, it's all the and I'll let PM explain that a little bit later. But my favorite scene, my favorite scene right now is definitely I can't even pick all the scenes with me and P. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I like that. I like all of our scenes. Shout out to Savage too. Shout out to the soundtrack for the movie. We did the soundtrack in-house too. Shout out to Sadboy and Monty. Shout out to Sadboy and Maui. Shout out to me. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to everybody that worked on the project. The soundtrack is dope, and it will be coming out with the movie. My favorite scene, I don't want to give it away, but I will tell you. My favorite scene is when my character David finds out what's really going on. Mentally, I played that scene in my head for the longest time, just reading it and just thinking about it and just being, we reshot that scene so many times, and it was literally just, when we got it, it was perfect, and it was emotional. And I was going through a point at time where we were filming where I didn't want to film it anymore. I felt like I was reliving every single thing that I didn't want to relive. And just like the writing situation, and Tyler knows this, Loverboy kind of got irritating for me because we're sitting here and it's a story to everyone else. To me, that's life. That's what happened, and that's reading these words and listening to this and just being on set and just reliving just all these little things that happened. It was kind of just like, I don't want to say traumatizing, but it was kind of just like, you kind of get annoyed. Like, you just be like, I don't want to do this today. And that's what I came in to that. So when we shot that scene with, I came in with, I don't want to do this today. I don't want to relive yelling at my best friend. I don't want to relive going downstairs and telling this girl to get that HE double hockey sticks out of my house. I don't want to do that. So when we did it, it was kind of just like ramped up, and the emotion was there from my side and from Tyler's side and from Sierra's side. It was just like, you felt like you were getting something out of me, and it just felt like the 110% that everyone talks about. And it just felt like I'm straining this. And when you see it, when you get to that final part of the scene, and I'm throwing the pillows and I'm yelling, you're like, dang, like I can really feel that. And yeah, that has to be my favorite scene, just because of everything that went behind it. The whole movie is dope. The whole it's we're talking about it like it's some drama, but it's comedy. It's very funny. Like we really wanted to put a story underlining it, because the funniness and the comedic, just everything is just there. And I feel like that's how stories should be. I don't really like sad stories and they try to throw in like little comedy jokes. I think it should be comedy, but the underlining story is just amazing. So yes, it's a comedy and it's funny, and I just want everyone to have a good time while they watch it and just laugh and joke and cry and do whatever you want to do with the movie. But yeah.
Well, big ups to you both for such a wowing achievement. Like, I can't wait to see it. I'm going to spend the money to watch it. And then I'm going to tell you, it was you being a bad boy when you threw those pillows, okay? And Tyler, I'm going to be the judge of how well you put it down, okay?
Look, we need it. Give us that. Eyes on it. It's the best.
Listen, It's
Great.
up from here, okay? So where can people follow you and download, well, not even download, purchase the movie?
Yeah, I'll go first with it so I can let P wrap it up like he always do. But you can catch me on my social medias at Tyler King J Jackson. That is TYLERKINGJACEJACKSON, and on Twitter at King J Jackson. Just erase the Tyler. So yeah.
You can follow me at Praise McNeely, PraiseMcnealy. You can follow Loverboy on Instagram at Loverboy the Movie. You can follow Loverboy on Twitter at LB the Movie. And you can follow Sadverse on Instagram for all the music at SDVRSE Sadverse. And you can buy the movie next month at www.loverboythemovie.com.
All right, I've heard great things about the movie and the soundtrack, so I'm gonna be your first reviewer. How about that?
Yes, that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for this interview. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Black boys, black men doing it in the community. Like, y'all are so astute and just so professional. You're very profound young men. So it was quite the honor to sit down and talk with you tonight. Y'all blew me away. Y'all have interviewed better than some of the old people I done interviewed, because I'm like, what are we even talking about? But big ups to y'all. So thank you so much.